Joining us tonight, Congressman Devin Nunes, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, and Congressman Nunes was, I believe, the first to stand up against this corrupt, rotten effort against the president and do what he could with frankly a corrupt leadership of much of the intelligence community itself. Congressman, it's great to have you with us. I want to start with these documents, if I may, that are being released. To me, they present unequivocal evidence of criminality, of a rogue FBI working against the Constitution, as well as trying to overthrow a president. Your thoughts?
Well, if you remember, Lou, when I was on last week, I talked about investigations that needed to be done. Now you're seeing the fruit of that investigation. I talked about the U.S. attorney out of Missouri that was looking at the Mueller dossier, the Mueller report. We now find out it's not, and the media is going to try to downplay this. The Mueller team was corrupt, Lou, plain and simple. There's so much there. This is probably only the start of it. There's a lot more. We even know now from an important document that was released that they essentially were closing the investigation on General Flynn on January 4th, 2017. They wait 3 weeks while they plot and pray on General Flynn to set him up, to
see the language when they're talking about Bill Priestap, this language talking about what's our goal. I mean, it's hard to imagine that the head of counterintelligence at the FBI, what is our goal? If we can put up this full screen, please. What is our goal? Truth, admission, or to get him to lie so that we can prosecute him or get him fired? Extraordinary.
Yeah,
it's just hard to imagine.
Remember the fact that there's so much here, okay? There's so much here. Let's try to unpack a couple things. They had already opened a counterintelligence investigation into General Flynn in 2016 during the campaign. Then on January 4th, it was into FARA violations. Now, look, when you're doing FARA violations, Lou, all the swamp creatures in Washington, D.C., these laws have been around forever. You get a slap on the wrist and you pay a fine and you just go register. You don't get a full-blown counterintelligence operation on you. They don't start spying on you. They don't start going through all of your records. They don't start, especially to that former head of of DIA, a three-star general, a war hero. I mean, just think about that for a second. You're the genius FBI G-man up there, and you're like, oh, we're investigating the head of DIA? I mean, the former head of DIA? My God, can you believe that? Can you imagine the conspiracy that would be? That our DIA director would be corrupted? It's incredible. Because it was false. It was fake. And totally fake.
In an effort to overthrow the president. We're going to be back with Congressman Devin Nunes. Congressman, if you could stay with us through the commercial break. As you put it, let's unpack a couple of other things that are sure to just leave every concerned American irate when they hear what else is going on in our government, at least in a great part of it. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Devin Nunes. We're back with Congressman Devin Nunes now. And Congress, I just want to touch on something that it just strikes me that you're talking about the special counsel, the Robert Mueller's legal team that just hounded this president in that horrible effort to really overthrow a president and nothing more. We're talking about the Justice Department. We're talking about the FBI, politically corrupt as they can be. We're talking about the intelligence community. 3 heads of 3 agencies, obviously politically corrupt as they can be. And Adam Schiff, the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Nancy Pelosi. It is not an accident that all of these people were moving in concert simultaneously toward one end that was obvious, and that is to unseat the President of the United States.
Yeah.
Am I making too much of what are just mere historical coincidences?
No, you just forgot the really important actor. You named a lot of the bad actors in this horrible tragedy, but you forgot the biggest one, the enablers, and that is the mainstream media, who effectively might as well just move their offices into the Democratic National Committee. They were in on this from the start. If you look at how they're reacting over the last 24 hours, they're just in denial. Now, these are the people that ought to be looked at for treason. Okay, because a lot of these people knew about the Clinton paid-for dossier. They were briefed on this, and then they were given these transcripts, okay, intelligence transcripts. They were given this information. That's illegal. Those leaks are illegal, all right? Never should that have happened. And so the fact that you still have these lunatics out there, and there's probably 100 of them, Lou, that were kind of the official Russia hoaxers, they are out there still today accusing General Flynn of being some type of Russian agent. Okay, this is the media. This is the media. That's why it's so important for the American people to understand that the media work for the Democrats. And it's important for Republicans to understand, especially Republican elected officials, including the President of the United States, Lou, needs to quit calling on these people. Stop talking to them. How many of us as Republicans would walk into the Democratic National Committee and say, hey, I'm here for an interview. Let's go. I mean, just like how many Democrats would walk into the Republican National Committee and say, hey, let's go. Put me before a murder board. Ask me all your questions. This is lunacy that Republicans are even talking to these people. So anyway, Lou, sorry to go off on that tangent, but it's important. They played. They were the enabler of all of this. They gave the platform for this whole coup to be started, for the investigation to be started, that then turned into a coup and trying to take out the President of the United States.
Yeah, if I may, I would like to add one other element of this for consideration as well, and that is the corporate owners of these outlets. This is beyond fake news. It's also fake ownership, because this is not happening without the at least tacit approval of the corporations for whom they work. And as they conspire against the president, that is clearly obvious to very smart people who run the Washington Post and who own it, Jeff Bezos. It is also apparent to not only the board of AT&T, but its CEO. And it goes on and on. Disney,
they
ABC
know,
News.
They know this defamation is occurring. There's defamation, there's slander. They know they're political. They're effectively, they're just part of a political party. Okay, I mean, it's oddly very familiar to the old Soviet Union and Pravda. It's familiar to what Putin does in Russia today. It's also very familiar about how the Chinese Communist Party controls their media in their country. It's the same damn thing. You have 90% of the media in this country that's owned by the Democratic Party, okay, solely owned subsidiary. And, I was talking to somebody today about the Russia hoax and Spygate and reporting on that. That's not a conservative or a liberal thing. If you take the 10 reporters, there's really only 10 reporters out there that have been talking about this Russia hoax, okay, doing a real job. You realize none of that that's not conservatives reporting. That's the only reporters we have in this entire country. They're actually true investigative reporters trying to get to the bottom of this mess. Congressman,
Thanks for saying that, and thanks for being here. We appreciate it so much, and all that you have done. Standing as an exemplar for the Republican Party, and reminding many of their members what courage looks like. Thank you, Congressman. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.